Credit One Bank. What will Gregson do if he's able to get to it? Can Gibbs stay in front? The lap traffic once again coming into play. Gibbs clean off of turn 2, down the backstretch for the final time. Gregson throws it into turn 3. Can he get there? He's not going to. Ty Gibbs is going to win the race and the championship.
Thank you, Ricky. Everyone, these guys are ridiculous. Played an awesome job. They put us here. Great job to my team. You know what I can
This afternoon, we learned of the tragic passing of Coy Gibbs. Our deepest condolences are with the entire Gibbs family and everyone at Joe Gibbs Racing. We now ask that you join us in a moment of silence to honor the memory of Coy Gibbs.
As a father, how do you feel now having
All right, video's done.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Burning Down NASCAR podcast. We started out, I guess on a bad note, but we wanted to give tribute to a great guy. He had the highest point in his life. And a day later, he left us. Joe Gibbs doesn't deserve this. He's lost 2 kids. No parent wants to do that. So, that's why we started out this way. All right. All I'm going to say right now is congratulations to Joey, and then I'm going to hand it off to you. Your take.
You want me to go, I guess?
Yes.
Congrats to Joey. He was dominant from the get-go with qualifying and the whole race, and he earned it. I just wish we didn't end at Phoenix. I think it's a boring race like Texas. But even with Homestead, it's whatever. But congrats to him. What Ross had maybe 5 more laps, probably could have won it. Christopher Bell had a problem on pit road, and then obviously we know Chase I don't want to say he got dumped. He tried to block and got dumped himself. So I don't blame Ross for that. They both tried to go on the apron and whatever happened with Chase. So I blame Chase. I blame both. Whatever. I'm not hurt with anybody. That's a racing deal. But congrats to Joey. I bet you Joe Gibbs wish he would have gave Joey some more time to mature and probably could have won more championships for Joe Gibbs instead of Penske now. Penske's got 2 with Joey, so took him 10 years plus, but he's getting there.
Yeah, I got to give a lot of respect to Joe Gibbs, Kyle Busch, Toyota. Everybody was magnanimous about this. They all thanked each other.
Mm-hmm.
It just, for whatever reason, and I still don't think we know the real reason why this happened the way it did. As far as Kyle Busch, staying with Toyota, staying with Joe Gibbs. We talked over the last couple of episodes that there's problems with Joe Gibbs Racing. I don't know what it is, what it could be. And I really don't want to elaborate on that as far as throw things out there. But there's some serious issues there. They're losing people left and right. It's amazing to me with all the FU money that TRD has got. Things they've changed, and I don't know how to quantify or qualify or encapsulate the whatever's going on over there. And pardon the sniffles, I've got a cold bad if you can't tell from my voice. I'm not feeling the best. But there's some serious issues. And I was just proud of Kyle Busch, which I know is almost an oxymoron, for the way he went out. I saw so much, with him loading the car on the hauler for the last time. The statements that he put out, praising Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota. I think it couldn't have been done any better than what everybody involved in the situation did it. There were no harsh words, there were no finger pointing. There was no blame placed anywhere. And I'll be really interested as time goes on, because the real story will come out.
That'll be long time unless somebody gets real sour. I don't think that won't come out for a while.
But it's the end, not only of one but 2 eras. Kyle Busch at Joe Gibbs and Eminem Mars in the sport.
Yep. They may come back to sponsor part-time, but they're done.
I can remember, Ernie Irvin and others racing Schrader.
Yeah, Schrader was huge with them, yeah.
And it just tells me a little bit about the exorbitant costs of being involved in NASCAR.
They take a heavy burden. Sponsorships do.
They absolutely do.
If you're not getting your money's worth, which I think they got their money's worth a lot with Kyle, because he won 2 championships with him. Yeah, bad, any type of PR is good PR. He gave him all the tons of PR, so.
Good, bad, indifferent.
Yeah.
It's just the end of an era. And then for all of that to happen, um it's just like, with the death of Coy, it's like, what else? It's one of those where you're just sitting around. What else can go wrong? Um, it's amazing to me. It's like the storyline took away from Joey Logano and his championship win, winning the race, winning the championship, and it was so overshadowed. Uh, and I'm not saying he didn't get his props, because he did. Believe me, he did. But everything going on at Joe Gibbs Racing just sucked the air out of the room on that special day for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just one thing. It was like 2, 3, 4 things. So anyway, I don't mean to be so morbid. It just let's move on from this. It's prayers out to the Gibbs family on all fronts. I think Kyle's going to land in a better spot for him and his family. I pray for Ty Gibbs and his family. So let's move on. Obviously, we know that Joey Logano won. Blaney was second. Chastain was third. Briscoe. I was surprised at Chase Briscoe. That really surprised me. Kevin Harvick, I think this is 10 years in a row that he has finished in the top 10 at
Yeah,
Phoenix.
it was overshadowed. He broke a record. Yeah, I forgot what it was. It was like 10 or 11 races in a row. Top 10.
William Byron was second. Kyle Busch was seventh. It was a good send-off for him. Hamlin, Larson, and Bell rounded out the top 10. Keselowski 35th. I don't see Elliott because of his little incident, and I'm with you. I think Chase made a bad move. Ross didn't do anything wrong, but Chase finishes 28th. Bubba 22nd. So let's close
Mr.
the
Average
book
there.
Yeah, that's right in his averages, which is like 21 point something.
Even with
22.
how good he had his spurts this year, he still probably averaged only all year, which is on par with every other year.
Well, Daniel Hemrick, who was filling in for Ty Gibbs,
who filling in for Kurt Busch.
Corey LaJoy, Harrison Burton, and Eric Almirola all beat him. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm done with the Bubba Wallace stuff. So let's get over that. Fantasy. I'll whoop you again. That's like 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
Who won the year? I don't even have to look, and I know I did.
You did.
Yeah, I don't even have to look.
I'm still second, but you know what? I closed strong. So And it was funny is I had Chase Elliott in the garage, and I was like, "Ooh, enough of
I
that."
finished 21,979th overall.
Yeah, well, you kicked my ass there. I was 37,348.
This is the first. I've been doing this for a few years, and I would always just forget one week. And once you forget a week, you might as well stop. You can't catch back up. So this is the first year I've actually stuck with it every race. It'd be interesting
Well,
how
we
they
had-
change it, because last year they did it to like, who do you think's gonna qualify? Who's gonna get the pole, and they did like who's gonna win the state. They had like who's gonna win the stages, and they simplified it this year, but they had it a lot more complex last year, like with stage wins, what manufacturer is gonna win, and then who's gonna. It was a lot more last year.
Okay. Well, as you know, I didn't play last year, so I've learned a few things, but I did pretty good. I had Chastain, Blaney, Larson, Briscoe,
I,
which as surprised as I was at his finish, I'm even more surprised that I had him in my lineup. And Logano, who won the race. And I only missed one matchup. I had Chastain over Elliott, Logano over Bell, Blaney over Hamlin, and Larson over Kyle Busch, and I only missed that by 2. So I left 5 points on the table there. But I like I said, all year long, I haven't gotten to say this a whole lot, but I got you again. So
They're already pushing this Coliseum shit already. They're tweeting out Bush like this. It's tons, because next year's the 75th anniversary, which I can remember the 25th anniversary like last year. But they're pushing this Coliseum shit hard again. That's all we're gonna hear.
why do you think that is?
Oh, they want people to go, and it's funny because they have a Bush Light class at the Coliseum page just posted a picture, and it says, "Go take a look at the float by Artistic Service, and we'll be zooming in during the parade." And it's funny too, because it has like NASCAR. It's apparently a float this is like a rendering, and like it's funny because the cars that are on the float, guess who they are? They're not even current drivers. There's Jeff Gordon's car, Richard Petty's car, and Dale Earnhardt's car. Not even any current drivers for this float.
That's in the Rose Bowl parade.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you do Joey Logano, who won? The most popular driver, Chase Elliott. Oh yeah, I'm fucking Bubba. If you want to try to do that shit, I mean,
we've talked about this several times, but they have made a complete wrong turn with this Coliseum crap, and just like other stuff, I've seen so much on it, and I think they're desperate because they committed right after the first Coliseum race to do it again. Before they, people go back and look at our first couple of podcasts and the things we were saying about that at the time. And we're being proven to be correct on this. It was a big play to try and get more butts in the seat at Fontana, Vegas, Phoenix,
California.
Well, that's Fontana.
Well, yeah.
Sonoma. It didn't work. But by then, they had already jumped the shark and said they were going to do this again. I would bet money, honestly, because of the money invested, that they won't do this again. I think this will be the final time they go to the Coliseum, because it did not, they were touting all the attendance and the TV rate. We were coming out of COVID. It was people. I can remember back in the 90s, going to races and then going back to work, and people, and again, I've said this before, you'd hear them, yeah, I was at the race this weekend. All right, who won? Well, I don't know, but I was there. It was a status thing, is what it was. And I think that's what they turned this Coliseum crap into, was a status thing. We saw a lot of diversity. We saw stupid musical performances. What was that all about? Why? We're here to race. It's, to a certain extent, it's a show, but it's not that kind of show. And they played to a crowd that isn't going to be loyal. They're not going to be. They didn't get a bump in sales at all those tracks that we talked about, which is what this is all about, is trying to get them to points paying races at other venues. And it didn't work. But they didn't know that at the time that they meant, said, yeah, we're going to, attendance was so high. TV ratings were so high. Everybody's into this. It didn't work out that way. Those are the facts. So they're going to do it. They already committed to it. I'll bet they don't do it again.
Yeah, well, we'll see with the ticket sales. That's why they changed it tonight, to try to get a better audience, but viewership, whatever. When is that?
I don't know, February something and 8:00 p.m. I know that for sure, because they've made sure everybody knows. Which is another thing that tells me they're scared, is they're moving it to prime time to try and grab even more people.
And to find it, see when that's in correlation to like football.
I think it's the weekend before the Super Bowl.
The sequel will take place February 5th. Serve as a prelude to the 2 weeks later. Super Bowl, February 12th. Little a week before. Oh, it is literally a week. February 5th. February 5th is that Sunday, and then, well, yeah, it is. So it goes to Coliseum, Super Bowl, and then 2 weeks later, they have the clashes, and not clash, the duels, I think the week prior. So they're not going to have any fight for viewership.
Right. We'll see how it goes. I just don't think personal attendance or TV viewership will be what they want.
And a viewership would be up for the first NASCAR event of the year. It's going to be up. Not like last year's up, but it'll be up. It'll be higher than the finale we had this year, which was lower than the previous years, too. It'll be...
Yeah, you saw that as well.
Yeah.
I can cross that one off the list.
Yeah, it was down a few points.
Yeah, more than a few, but it was down. Does anybody wonder why Steve Letarte wasn't on TV this weekend?
I know why.
All right.
Appendix taken out, or something like appendicitis or whatever.
Emergency appendectomy.
And that was, and I'm assuming when I read it, I read that as appendix.
Yep, it was an appendectomy.
When I read it, I'm like, really? You can get it that old? I mean, I guess you can get it at any age. I didn't realize.
Well, luckily I did mine at 13. So, It was interesting. They didn't even mention it on the
They
broadcast.
mentioned that he wasn't there. They didn't reason why, but Junior was shouting him out. So now I'll get text from him. I'll get a blah blah. If I say something wrong, he'll text me and correct me and blah blah blah. So they were shouting him out. They didn't say why he wasn't there.
But he should have, because they were posting it on social media before the. All right. I want to do a few more things, and then we'll get into what I think are the two big things of the week.
There's a little cool story, because I know where you're going, but there's a cool story. There's a lady that worked the concessions at Phoenix. I don't know if you heard this story or not. And she couldn't find her car because she parked randomly, and it's at night, so she wanted to go home, and she couldn't go, and so she got a ride from some guy, and this guy helped her find her car, and comes to find out, guess who it was?
Jeff Gordon.
I thought that was so fucking cool. Jeff Gordon just gave this girl a ride to find her car, and I don't know if she knew right away. But
what irritated me about that is she works a concession at a freaking NASCAR sanctioned track, and she didn't know that Jeff Gordon was the one helping her.
It don't matter. They're not fans. They're there for a job.
It was like, are you serious?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That was a feel-good story, and that was pretty cool.
Not very many people of his caliber and his wealth and money is going to go out of his way. That shows you his character as a person.
Yes. And he didn't
say, hey,
put it out anywhere. Nowhere.
No.
So
there's a story Dale Earnhardt Jr. talks about. I forgot what it was, and it was about Tony Stewart, and it was obviously some late model race or whatever, and they're in the parking lot, and Tony Stewart comes out of the shadows to talk to Dale Earnhardt Jr., and they're talking, and this is from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s perspective. I had to go find the interview because it's pretty funny, and they're talking, and then all of a sudden they look up, and there's obviously cameras and paparazzi coming, and next thing you know, Dale Earnhardt looks, and Stewart's gone. He's like, how do you deal with that shit? And he goes, what the fuck? So it's kind of like that situation. It's just kind of like those funny stories, cool stories. But I thought that was pretty cool that Gordon, obviously, it's championship weekend. He has a lot of other shit, especially getting ready for the offseason to deal with. And he's out, helping some random lady that works concession to find her car.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely cool and totally class.
Yeah.
And then for him to not go out
I helped this lady and what,
Yeah. It was totally cool. That's a fact. NASCAR announced that all start times for at least...
Yeah, they moved a lot of them up, but they made a lot of races more night race, too. All that. Where is that post?
11 races will air on Fox, including the cat... Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's basically 2:30 in the afternoon, so they're basically moving them up a half hour. I wish they'd move them up more.
Yeah. But there are some of them, they moved them from like 6:30 at night to 8 start times. I had to figure out the post. It was on Twitter. I saw Bob talking about it. I have to go find the post.
Talladega starts at 3, the Coke 600, and... wait a minute. We'll start at 6, Sonoma at 3:30. These are all Eastern times. But they're moving the start times back up. I can remember the days when every single NASCAR race, no matter where
between 1:30 and 2:30, if that.
Yeah. Between 1 and 2 o'clock Eastern time. Every single race. And then they changed all that, but
right here is a summary of the main ones. Main changes for Cup: the Clash is now 8 p.m. start. It was 6 p.m. Richmond was is now on F1. Was Fox. Martinsville is 3 p.m. Eastern. It was 7:30, so I don't know why they moved that to a day race. Sonoma is now on Fox. Was Fox Sports 1. Nashville went from 7 p.m. to 5 p.m., which is dumb. Chicago is now on NBC at 5:30. Road America was at 3:30. No, Road America is 5:30 p.m. now. It was Atlanta second Atlanta race is now 7 p.m. It was 3. Some of those changes I don't understand. Like Martinsville.
I do actually like Atlanta being a night race.
Yeah, agreed. But like, why would you change Martinsville from 7:30 to 3? I don't know if that's maybe a lighting issue.
I don't either.
Apparently that
But
was
they've
main
really
change.
changed up a lot of the start times. Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.
Yes. Heard a little bit
And
about it.
Bristol Motor Speedway. I guess Bristol, because Bruton Smith obviously is no longer with
Whoever
us,
owners, partners of Bristol, yeah.
have made a contract offer to NASCAR to bring a race there. I like it. I do.
At least it's kind of crazy that it's taking track owners or investors or groups to realize that it's the tracks we need to go back to instead of NASCAR deciding, oh, let's do the fucking Coliseum. Like, come on. I think 75% of the people do not agree with going to the fucking Coliseum.
I agree. I do. They don't need to go there. That it's not help.
Honestly, if that was as much as I watch college football, if I knew that field was going to get covered in that much cement and asphalt, like if it was the big house or Notre Dame Stadium, I'd be pissed because what type of damage you're going to do to that stadium? You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be pissed personally, but we don't play there, so. Well, Big Ten's going to. USC and UCLA is joining the Big Ten in 2025, so we will be there at some point now. But still, it's not our home stadium.
I get you. We're doing this on Thursday, and I do apologize to everybody. We had personal things going on, so we're really kind of late this week. We will be much earlier next week. That's also a promise.
That'll be Wednesday.
Well, then that's the same.
Yeah.
But it's still earlier.
Yeah, it's gonna have to rotate Wednesday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, because.
Gotcha. Got your tickets for Chicago? They went on sale today.
Sure, they're still for sale. I can go get it right now, probably.
And they're also begging for partners and broadcasting and the sponsorship, and this is going to be a debacle.
I'm sure, since I live so close, since it's July 4th weekend, I don't know what my plans are, but fuck it, I might just drive it up there and go sit on the lawn and see the hellhole for right off the top. You see, I'm trying to look for tickets right now and see what. Oh, I got a call. I can't just go look. I'm looking right now. It says schedule a call.
Schedule a call.
Yeah, it says buy premium.
See where
tickets.
you want to sit and get shot.
Yeah, it says buy premium tickets. Fan guys proposed course layout. They don't even know if that's even like confirmed. You know what I'm saying? Accept it. It's proposed.
This is, and all the bad moves that NASCAR has made over the last couple of years, this has got to almost be in the top 2 or 3. This is not going to be good.
You can't even buy general admission. It's all about the premium now that comes with the suite and all that stuff. You can't buy general admission.
Just rent something in the Sears Tower. You'll see it. Get a pair of binoculars.
The course looks horrible, to be honest. I don't understand. Have you seen it? It looks like a figure eight, but the 8 don't cross. So what if they crash and that whatever barrier they set up there, because it's like a dog leg almost. So what if somebody crashes that barrier, pushes it out? They got to stop the race, fix it. I don't know. I see this
To
being-
answer your question, I have not. Let me see if I have not seen the course layout, and as familiar as you and I both are with Chicago, it still doesn't matter to me. This is gonna be a debacle, a crap show on steroids. It's not gonna work. And I just pray, honestly, that something bad doesn't happen, because that's what I'm more concerned about than anything else. Is something, and I'm not talking about with wrecking a car or anything like that. I'm talking about crime. That's what I'm concerned about.
I don't know.
with
Can you see
this.
that?
Let me click on it.
That's the proposed layout.
All right, can I expand this?
You click it. Just click it.
I did. Now you went away, it went away.
Just click it. It should be there. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to show you the court.
I know. I'm trying to see which one. It's just rolling around. It's not.
Not loading.
No, it's not. It's okay. Oh, where'd you go?
I'm here. If you just want to reset, just leave the room and come back.
There it is. All right. I'm not sure. I couldn't. I saw the original or whatever you put up
This
first.
isn't about the race there. This is about trying to sell rooms and hotels
It's
that
like the Coliseum.
they're trying to sell rooms and hotels that the track's going by. That's all they're. It's so stupid. I don't know.
I agree.
Experiment, and I think who else was
Well,
those?
they've got what, a 2 or 3 year contract. This is not going to
Well,
just
the
be a
reason
one-off.
why they got a contract because they don't have to pay to Chicago any like royalty fees. You know how like they have Lollapalooza there? Cause they made a real big stink about this because Lollapalooza's got to give them a big chunk of fees and all that. And NASCAR, when NASCAR got the deal, it's like going there free and just racing. Lollapalooza, when they go, they're paying out the ass and they're pissed about it. Now, well, if it continues, I'm sure they might renegotiate prices and it works or not. Yeah, the reason why they're going there and because they're getting a good deal. Pretty much all the money's on. I don't know even if Chicago's even putting any money up to help fund it. I don't know. I just know Chicago's not getting nearly as a big chunk of the pie, other than the city's gonna make money off of tourist attraction, even though they don't need it.
I think it's more about the hotel and hospitality industry than anything else, but we'll see. We shall see. It's just, I think this is going to be a big flop like the Coliseum, and we'll see. I want to also give a big shout out to Zane Smith, your Craftsman Truck Series champion. And of course, Ty Gibbs, your Xfinity champion. And there's nothing much more to say about that. I just wanted to acknowledge it. And there it is. You got anything else?
You're missing the one really big one.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're just waiting.
I'm seeing if I'm just waiting. And I know which one you're talking about. If you have anything else, let's do that before we
I'm
get
looking
to
up
the
like what Bob tweets, and you're talking about JTT Doherty Racing named Mike Kelly as crew chief for Ricky Stenhouse because his crew chief stepped down or left. He left, and Brian Patty's going the Kyle Busch Motorsports 51 truck. But that's another thing. Kyle Busch Motorsports announced their driver, bottom of the barrel drivers. Kyle Busch announced Friday. Chase Purdy will pilot the number 4 Chevy as part of the multi-year deal. Jack Wood will compete in 10 races behind the 50 in the ride with Kyle Busch and other drivers.
I was gonna say, I would imagine that Kyle Busch is gonna get back in the truck.
He's got to make it a winning program.
Yeah, he's got to get it to a winning program, and it's going to be his feedback that helps do that with Chevy.
It's going down from 3 to 2, so he's got funding for 2. So if he gets in the truck and they start winning and go into the chase or the championship, which he can't do it in that 51, it'd be the 4-car truck. Oh,
well, he can go. He can help push it to the drivers, or I mean the owners.
Yeah.
Not the drivers, the owners.
It'll be interesting who he else tries to put in that as a Chevy. Who you know? Let's play like fantasy here. Who would you want to help in that Chevy truck? The Chevy. He's been Toyota for so long. We haven't been able to do who can drive that truck for him. I would love to see Kevin Harvick jump in that sumbitch for a while, couple races.
He won't do that. He's Ford.
Oh shit, you're right. I can see Austin Dillon getting in there and helping since that's his teammate, Richard Childress.
Oh, that's a good call. I could see that too. All right, I just pulled up
Chevy drivers.
I just pulled up Chevy truck drivers.
I can see Kyle Larson getting in that. Even though he's Hendricks, it doesn't matter. It's Chevy. Because
I could see that as well.
Because Alex Bowman went down there for Spire, remember? And
another crazy thought just crossed my head. Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, why not? He bought in the Chevy himself, so
we'll get there. We'll get there. Just hang on.
It just says others to be announced, so I can see. Obviously, I see Austin Dillon being in that because it's his teammate.
That would be helpful. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the 51 will probably be a rotating thing since they've named a driver for the 4.
Yeah, he says multi-year, so he's in that one for a while.
And I just think it's almost like a restart for KBM. I did see, and I loved it, and I wish I had sent it to you. Kyle Busch Motorsports with all their trophies and everything they have had and all the people involved in a picture in front of Kyle Busch Motorsports. It was really cool, and again very classy. It was basically more than anything else. Thank you to Toyota for all the years and everything you've done. And displaying all the hardware that they had in their tenure with Toyota. It was really cool. You're looking for it right now.
I looked on their Twitter and there's nothing. It's all about.
It was on Facebook that I saw.
I think I saw it too. I wasn't sure.
All right, there's one more thing, and if you do happen to come across it, go ahead. But one more thing, and again, I know this is a NASCAR podcast, but the trucks are under that umbrella. I saw a couple of stories this week where Rouse Fenway Keselowski and Ford are in discussions to get Ford back in big
Dodge.
time with trucks.
Dodge. Ford the trucks.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought you were talking about Dodge coming to the Cup.
Well,
Yes, that's
what
slowed
I'm
down.
talking about is Ford in negotiations with RFK to get their I mean, they've got a few Fords in there, and I can't remember who's in there, but I thought, well, they ain't doing well in Cup. Why not try and throw your eggs all in in Cup? Then why not try and do something with the truck series? So
Have you seen the? I know it's obviously it's a render, but have you? I know we're gonna. I'm kind of a little. Have you seen the render of Jimmy Johnson's 44 car? It's a cool.
no, I haven't. I know that's the number he picked for whatever reason.
Well, it's 42, 43, 44. It's
No,
42. 42. I'm trying to. It's right there.
You think Lowe's would come back and do that?
No, I just think that's somebody's fan render, but I thought it was pretty sharp looking. But you never
That
know.
would
Why
be-
not? If they're gonna do
Yeah,
select
that would
races.
be groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee you Lowe's would have to spend money or less money to go to GMS Petty than they
Yeah.
would
Mhm.
Hendrick.
I thought it was a cool little render. I don't know, like I said, it's obviously a fan made one, but I thought, hey, I understand the number because it's 42,
42,
44,
43.
44.
So let's do it. We all know it. Jimmy Johnson bought into GMS Petty Motorsports.
Which when that happened, I'm like, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. I'm surprised because it's not Hendricks because he was with Hendricks, and I thought he was going to follow the same path as Chad Knaus and Jeff Gordon, all that. But then he comes back and buys into Petty GMS, which is after GMS joined, they went from here to here. Now is Johnson in whatever money and it could go high. I don't know. We'll see. But I see it as a good thing regardless.
I do too. I absolutely agree with you there. I think he can attract bigger, better, more
Sponsorship.
fat wallet sponsorships. And it honestly, because he said he's gonna do a limited schedule. He's not going for the championship. He's just gonna do a bucket list of races, starting with the Daytona 500. And my attitude about that is, what if he actually wins the Daytona 500? Do you think he'd race the full year?
No, that's a trophy to him. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't think he would. I think it's too much of an obligation for him. I think after his little stint with IndyCar, I think he might. I don't know if you can change your mind after you start racing. I don't know if can you do that. I'm part time, but I win. Okay, I'm full time. I don't know. Can you do that? I have no idea if that's part of the rules or not.
Would NASCAR say no if he decided? Again, I mean,
They said no to Trevor Bayne when he won his. He was, he declared
but-
Xfinity.
I mean, okay, let's play this out. He wins the Daytona 500. Scenario. He's automatically got a spot in the playoffs.
I mean, yeah.
So now do you declare, okay, I'm going to race 1 year? And again, I've never been that big of a Jimmy Johnson fan.
But it
'Cause
brings back fans to the sport
It will.
if he wins.
And again, he's got the star power enough to bring in the sponsors to support the third. There's a lot of questions. Do they have a charter for that car?
Yeah.
So he's guaranteed in. I don't know that they do. It's kind of like the track house situation where even though they don't race that 91 car all the time, they do have a charter for it. So if they don't have a charter for whatever he's going to sit in Daytona, do they have to go out and buy one? If again, to me, it depends on his performance at Daytona.
You got to realize this would be
Just
his
want
first.
to throw it out there. If he wins it and he's automatically got a spot in the playoffs, if he races the whole season, does he do it?
Very possible. I don't see why not unless his wife and kids say no. But he raced full time. I don't know. One more year, do it, Eric Amarola. Shit, I don't know.
I think it'd be like almost the story of the year. Like I said, I'm not a big Jimmy Johnson fan, but I can see that playing out. And driving a Chevy, somebody would hook up with him to make it happen.
Well, he still has that Carvana shit too that he had his old IndyCar sponsorship with. So I'm pretty sure he could scrounge around the sponsorship. He just have to get around and get a crew with him, crew chief, and pit crew. That's got to be.
Do you think there's a whole lot of people that if he called up would say no?
I mean, some of them contractually obligated. They can. You know what I'm saying?
I almost think Chad Knaus would leave.
Hell no. He's making way too much money overseeing Hendrick's competition or whatever his title is. Now, could you imagine he gets in? Obviously we're doing fantasy booking here. Let's say he wins with his part-time whatever, and Jimmy Johnson wins a Daytona 500, declares he's going to go for let's say he can declare for the year. What if he calls up Ray Evernham?
Ooh, I just got some wood.
Calls up Ray Evernham and, hey, I know you've been out of the game. I've been out of the game. It's a new car. Let's go.
I could see that. We need to flag this. Wow. Evernham would be awesome.
Yeah, get Ray Evernham in there. And it's just obviously fantasy booking, but, that's like the only crew chief that I know that's really not with somebody other organization that could easily do it. He's been there. He does it. He knows the technology.
He'd be, wow. That one was out of left field. I never saw that. That's awesome right there. That's awesome. Evernham. Oh my God.
Just for one more year, bud. Let's do it. Type thing. He has his number.
Oh, yeah. He's I won't say speed dial, but yeah, he can get a hold of him. But no, I mean, in reality, he says he's going to do the Daytona 500. I just wonder what happens. And again, I don't know. Has Jimmy Johnson won the Daytona 500 yet?
I think he has.
I don't know that he has. You're faster at this than me, so I'll just quit looking. I don't think he has. Which is the reason it would be one of his bucket list things.
Yeah. He has two.
2 Daytona 500s?
Johnson is also a two-time winner of the Daytona 500, winning in 2006 and 2013.
That's why I don't remember. It's been over 10 years ago. I guess my only point about this little conversation is if, and that's a big if, I just wonder if he does win, if what the next move will be, or he just sits down. It's, does what he says, where he just does a bucket list limited schedule, or changes his mind.
Yeah, I don't know what he might have if not this type situation. I don't know what his plans are. Obviously, they just announced partnership, and then we'll go there.
Yeah, and it was fast, and he was in there on day one. I mean, it was announced, and less than 7 days later, he was in there.
Yeah, no, there's gonna be a lot of. Well, he's got to go quick. He only have a 3-month off season, so what he's getting Noah Gregson's probably the best prospect they've had at Petty Motorsports GMS for fucking 30 years. So it'll be interesting to see what they
Noah's
do.
going to do great. I mean, not that Ty Gibbs did horrible, but he didn't perform the way they needed him.
No, so it's gonna be interesting. They got to do stuff day one, and I don't know how much they can do besides obviously they can do track testing. They're all also limited for that, and then you got the simulator shit. So I don't know. It's interesting what they bring and what they.
All right. I've crossed everything off my list. Do you have anything else?
I was looking around and that looks about it. And then said from here on out it's just gonna be news whenever we do a podcast.
Yeah,
Small little update.
it won't be an hour plus. That's a fact. It's just hit the news and rumors, that kind of stuff. But we appreciate everybody. Eh, we need more. Hopefully you guys like what you're seeing, and as Brian always says, we're on every platform out there. So
Yeah, any audio platform, podcast platform, just search it. We're there. And then on YouTube, if you want to watch the in-face person, we're there. So ready to go.
right up to and including Roku TV and all that. So, because I've watched it there. All right, I'm done. Everybody, thanks for a great season. I just hope you guys tell your friends and family, and it's like voting. We, tell everybody and drag them here. So that's it. I'm done.
I'm done too. The music up.